Hold on. I just gagged. I was like, So I'm trying to get the rest of this hot dog down. Jesus.
Wow.
And he just gagged.
Glad we're recording.
It is so recorded.
The fun I could have with editing this week.
I'm trying to get this hot dog.
All right, let's do this for reals. Here we go. 5, 4, 3. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hardcore Casuals. I'm your host, Sophist. Some people know me as Kyle. Thanks for joining us again this week. We have a pretty full show for you this week. We've cut back a little bit because last week we decided to go forever and always. But before we get into that, here with me, as always, are my two co-hosts. First, we have our priest and life grip extraordinaire, Indy. How are you?
I'm good, guys. Thanks.
Anything new this week? Heard you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy outside the game, but it was good to come back today and play some new BGs with you guys, so I'm sure we'll be talking about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
And I missed griefing you guys with my priest spells.
All right, well, next up we have, with me as always, Dom, or aka Xizta, is mostly, evolution of hair fame. Dom.
Yes, and also Lore's goodbye video on After Legendary as well.
Yeah, you've been everywhere this past couple weeks. How have you? You've been busy. I guess both of you have. So what's up? Yeah,
invaded both After Dark and Legendary for Lore's farewell, and actually recorded my own show called Xizta Pulled Aggro.
Which typically leads to Xizta dying, correct?
Yeah, I decided to have a little fun with the name. That's why I went with it. So
yes, and soon he'll be coming out with his own novel on how to live as a dead person.
It's called Roll a DK.
A day in the life and death of Xizta.
All right, so I guess on the docket we have this week, we have flex rating, the big bomb that Blizzard dropped on everyone. What we didn't get into last week, which was quitting and coming back, since 5.3, they've made it much easier for people to do that. And we want to touch on it, we just didn't get a chance to last week because we ran a little long. Our typical dungeon lore segment, which this week I believe we're talking about the Wailing Caverns, everyone's favorite.
So exciting.
I actually liked Wailing Caverns. Am I the only one?
Yes.
You might be. I was going to say yes, but not really. And then we have questions. I think we have at least one or two Twitter questions to answer this week, so it's good. That's good.
It's progress.
Yeah, we're moving up. So let's just get right into the news this week. The general gaming news, at least. We have E3 coming up, which is going to be a big thing. I know all of us are kind of looking forward to our own, each of our own interests over at E3. I guess we can start with Indy. What are you looking forward to most from E3 this weekend?
Well, it's no surprise I follow Lionhead Studios and Fable announcements religiously because it's one of my favorite series of games. So there is a lot of speculation at this point. I think people are quite certain. However, it's not a definite. This is just a quote from Molyneux with he told IGN that essentially RPGs are great MMO transitions, and that Fable and its environment, would be perfect for that type of transition. They didn't confirm anything. However, everybody's saying that at the E3 press conference, it is highly likely that a new Fable will be announced, and it will be an MMO type of release.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think they're right in general. The RPGs tend to it's just a natural progression that if you have a good RPG, then why not bring it so that everyone can enjoy this RPG at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the lore. There's definitely a lot of story to base quest lines off of. as it stands on the platform, on the console and PC versions, you can multiplayer it, but not like you and I know. We tried to play with more than 2 people, and you can only group up with 1 person. So that was always a bummer. So I think as long as they keep the integrity of the game, that there's no reason that couldn't be a fantastic MMO. And if it does happen, I am going to be sucked in, definitely.
Once again, I'm the black sheep of the family here. I actually haven't gotten a chance to play Fable yet, but once things calm down a little bit over here, Indy was so kind and purchased it for me when it was on sale a couple weeks back, and I plan on playing it very soon. I do. I just have been swamped.
I'm trying to bring you guys over, trying to suck you into this world.
The cool thing I think Fable does is it involves emotions a lot more, I think, and good and evil more so than a lot of RPGs, and it does it pretty well. So I think that would be a lot of fun to see as an MMO. I know you'd love it, but I think I would like it too. It just depends, like you said, how close to the original they keep it.
Well, that's also an interesting point, is that it's not they're not separated by factions. Your character essentially changes based on your alignment, and it's moral or immoral and light and dark. So it could be quite interesting.
Yeah. All right. So, Xizta, what are you looking forward to from E3 this week?
Well, before E3 even starts, Tuesday morning, we have the Nintendo Direct press conference, and Nintendo's been kind of lacking with the Wii U, so I'm hoping to hear some Zelda talk, some Mario Kart, Smash Brothers kind of announcements out of them. For Sony, I'm actually really excited to hopefully hear from one of their big franchises, maybe Crash Bandicoot or Uncharted. And Microsoft, there's been rumor that Rare is coming out with one of their legendary franchises, so I'm hoping maybe Killer Instinct or Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark I could see. I don't see Killer Instinct coming back, but maybe. I mean, it was a pretty cool game. It was a Mortal Kombat type mold.
I mean, Mortal Kombat just came out with a new game this past year, and it did really well, so very possible they could try to reinvent the game.
Yeah, I could see that. So you really that excited about the Nintendo press conference? I know I'm really excited about Zelda, but anything else they put out, Nintendo loves to do here's the same game again in HD, and I don't know. They typically disappoint me.
I really like the Mario franchise, especially Mario Galaxy. The past 2 have been really good. So
okay, yeah,
I like the Mario games too, but. That's where when I was a kid. I mean,
well, of course,
grew up with it.
That's the beauty of playing them, is you have that nostalgia feel to it, and they touch on it really well. And I don't know, I still enjoy them. I don't enjoy them as much as I enjoy current gen games, even though Nintendo is still technically current gen. I always feel they're kind of like one tier behind everybody else. But
yeah, they just feel like
I still like
the casual type gaming, which is fine. I mean, we like that stuff, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah,
and plus,
exactly.
What other brand do you know of that is more? I mean, they tend to want to cater to the kids. They've got a lot of Disney stuff, and so
Kingdom Hearts. That's another announcement that I hope we hear from. Kingdom Hearts 3, definitely need it. I know 1.5 HD mix is coming out for Sony later this year, so hopefully we get a Kingdom Hearts 3 announcement soon. Crossing Final Fantasy and Disney. The weirdest combination ever, but it worked well. Worked really well.
For me, I think I'm more generically, I'm looking forward to just how Xbox and Microsoft rebound from their like dud, to say the least, of a press conference when they release the Xbone.
TV, movies.
Yeah, and like generically, like that's just one, like overall, I want to see how they rebound from that. And I think the game that I'm most looking forward to seeing more from, hopefully, would be Destiny. I've never been into first-person shooter type games just because of the whole like bro atmosphere and like the deathmatch. Yeah, kill everyone. I don't necessarily get into that too much. I do play them and I enjoy it a little bit, but
not even GoldenEye.
I loved GoldenEye, but that didn't have the same. That was like you and your friends. Like it was like you got 3 other dudes and you sat down and you had a lot of fun. Like that was more the experience than the actual game, I think.
Well, no,
But,
that's not true, because Perfect Dark, I think their multiplayer missed quite a bit that GoldenEye had. It was developed by the same company, and it just wasn't quite the same.
I liked Perfect Dark, the original. Was that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that more than GoldenEye.
Really?
I loved that game. Yeah.
I just think the multiplayer was lacking somewhere. But anyway, continue.
So yeah, there's that, and then the other game. Oh well, Destiny. Destiny is the one that I want to see more about, because I think that's going to incorporate more of the RPG elements and bring it closer to a game that I really enjoy. Sort of, I think it'll be kind of similar to Warframe in a way. Not completely. Don't attach it too closely to that. But I think it'll be a lot of fun, and to see more about it is going to be really exciting.
Well, Destiny's actually also going to be on the PS4 as well, so that's not just a Microsoft game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because it's Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, I want to see more about that game. And then
Definitely.
the other thing I heard this week, or I think we all heard this week, was the bomb, the Elder Scrolls Online. To me, it sounds like he just people are kind of taking what he said too close to heart. Where where it was said that Elder Scrolls Online is going to be more like Skyrim than an MMO. I think he's just catering to the Skyrim fans. In my mind, I think it's actually going to be an MMO, but in the Skyrim type model. And I understand what he was saying. It was going to be more action and a very clean UI. And this is all stuff that MMOs are trying to get to anyways. So I don't think that means it's not going to be an MMO. In my mind, I don't think it's just going to be a multiplayer Skyrim. I don't know if you guys have anything.
I was not a fan of Skyrim.
I actually haven't gotten a chance to play Skyrim yet, so probably the whole community wants to kill me now. Not like I wouldn't be dead anyway, but I just saw the Legendary Edition was released on Steam not too long ago. What was it, last week? I think it came out, maybe even shorter than that, which includes all the DLC. For like $30 or $40 or something like that. I was definitely thinking of picking it up. So, yeah.
It depends on how closely they stick to the combat of Skyrim. Like, I really liked Skyrim, but it was almost like I liked Skyrim aside from the fact that I thought their combat was just too rough for me. It was like not fluid. It just felt like all those games always feel like that to me. All the Elder Scrolls games were just too stiff. But that's not saying it's not a really good game, because for me to look over that says a lot about the story and the world and everything else about that game that was so good. Well, since you guys haven't played it, we'll just kind of move on from there.
So eventually there will be World of Warcraft on this World of Warcraft tour.
Maybe. I think we'll get to that right now. What did we just do like an hour ago? We did something, right?
A battleground.
PvP.
Yes, the new Battleground.
Yeah, I PvP'd for the first time in I don't know, years probably. I don't PvP. I do not do PvP and Battlegrounds.
You had fun.
It was. We won,
I'm
so
kind
I
of
had
the
to have
same
fun.
way. I'm one of the few rogues that doesn't engage in a lot of PvP.
No, you just like to sit there and watch it happen.
Hey, did I not come to your rescue and save you?
I know, I was like standing there practically alone while Sophie was off trying to death grip someone. And
I was at the Goblin Mine. You were in the middle. Sophist, I don't even know where he was, but
he wanted
I
to
saw somebody targeting Indy, and I flew to the middle of the map to save you. So I don't even want to hear it.
Aw, you're my hero.
I was there.
Your goblin in shining armor
It's not shining, it's blue.
came
Ugly.
riding in on a zebra, not even a white horse.
So what did you guys think about the new Battleground? I thought it was kind of cool.
Well,
Indy?
you heard before we even queued up that I was not thrilled with how it sounded, but then getting there, you see that it's like a little bit of Arathi Basin, a little bit of War Song. So if you played way back in the day like I did, and I hate to always go back to Classic, but that's when Battlegrounds were really good. I feel you had to work to get your own honor kills. You had to grind for Grand Marshal or whatever it was, Horde side at that time. And,
doing one
Warlord or
AV
something.
match that lasted an entire week. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did an AV match that lasted almost
leave,
6
come
hours, I
back.
think. Yeah. So that aside, all that aside. So coming into this battleground, I was like, wow, this is awesome because it like reminds me of the older ones, but it's new. The new one that they came out with where you had to grab the crap and like run to the middle or whatever. I don't even know what that is. I did it once and that was the last time. But
Eye of the Storm?
no.
The new one, Eye of the Storm?
No. The one where there's like light columns and you grab Temple
of Kathmandu. I don't even know what it's called.
Whatever that thing is. I didn't like that.
I don't.
So if you liked old Battlegrounds, this one would definitely suit your tastes because you get a little bit of a combination of them. And then there's also those little gold carts that you can, intercept or destroy?
For the Silver Shard
resources.
Mine? Yeah.
Steal resources. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's kind of based off the Silver Shard Mine. So I guess it's combining even some of the newer ones in there as well.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that we took a group of us in there and we could talk and like have fun while we were doing it, because typically solo queuing for Battlegrounds and me is not what I would do to have fun.
Yeah, typically multi-base Battlegrounds like this one, if you're all pugging, it's not as fun because you are scattered.
Okay, well, that's the new Battleground. If you like PvP, I suggest trying. If you haven't already, I'm sure the people that like it have already done it. If you don't like PvP, get a group of people and go in. It's different. If you haven't PvP'd in a while, it was cool.
Yeah, it's a 15-man battleground, but you can only bring 5 of your friends through the queue, unless you queue up for a rated one, which I probably don't recommend.
Yeah.
Long story short, it's worth a try even if you don't like the newer Battlegrounds, because you might find that this one is more enjoyable.
Just different enough that, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Deepwind Gorge, for those of you that have not heard of it yet.
Yep. Okay, so we also had the flexraid bomb dropped on us this week, which people initially were calling it, that was the unannounced feature that Blizzard had been talking about. Well, first let's talk about flexraid, and then we'll get into that. Dom, why don't you tell us what flexraid is all about?
Well, basically, flex rating is a new difficulty level that falls between LFR and normal difficulty level, and you could bring anywhere between 10 to 25 players, so you could bring 11, you could bring 15, you could bring 18, whatever the case may be, and the difficulty level will scale accordingly.
I mean...
So this means you could literally, if you have 10 friends, this gets rid of the typical, we have more than 10 people, but we can't keep sitting people because then they're going to leave, and we just want to do it for fun, so we don't want the challenge, we don't care about the heroic modes or whatever, and so now we have 13 or 17 people, and we can just bring whoever's here provided we have 10 people. So this is like the ultimate in
you still need
casual rating. You
still need to follow the role standards, so it's about 1 healer for every 5 people. Like, you'd still follow that kind of makeup, and you'd still need the correct amount of tanks to do it, but you can't completely ignore the roles. But yeah, that exactly, you could just bring 17 of your friends and go. You don't need a full 25-man group to do it.
Where does it stop though? I am not a fan. Like, if they're implementing this ability to scale things down, which obviously we know very well that they can do, because when you do challenge modes, they scale things back so that it's a challenge regardless of your gear. And now raids can scale according to the size of your group. I mean, like, what's next? When somebody dies mid-fight, they scale the boss down mid-fight, and like, you get to the point where one person's alive and they solos it. Like, I come from a time when raiding was hard, and I think that...
Here we go.
I think that
Blizzard, did you walk uphill both ways to Molten Core?
Barefoot?
I came
in the snow?
I came to the instance...
To Molten Core?
To Molten Core, and I conjured water and food for like an hour. And Sophist was a mage.
That was fun. That was so much fun.
So he knows. And so I say that with all of the refreshment tables and the summoning stone portal and the health stone vending machine thing, the wells, I mean, the soul wells, with all of these things, they're like, they're giving everyone everything, and like it's just, to me, I feel like when a game does that, it kind of worries me a bit.
So basically what I just took out of that is you want to be able to sit there and craft water for an hour before the raid starts. So by all means, that feature is still in the game. You can do that.
I'm not a mage anymore.
I think what you're complaining about, Indy, I think you're complaining about LFR. I don't think you're complaining about this. Because I don't think they're typically trying to make things easier. I think they're trying to make it more convenient for the casual raiders that want to have their friends there.
Seeing as, Indy, you were also involved in Laura's Saturday 10-man alt group, whatever you want to call it, you saw that there was a point where we just hit stuff and the group makeup, just having a lot of our friends and stuff in there, the content was a little too difficult for us and we kind of brick-walled. And I'm not going to try to hide the fact that you text me a few times and, oh, so-and-so's not there, they're not going to carry us, I'm not going to log on.
It's not about carrying.
Okay,
it's
so
about...
You're the one that just got through saying how you want everything difficult, but then when it's too hard, you don't want to log on for it.
It's not about that at all. I just think that the dynamic of raiding has changed so much, but it's gotten to the point where it's not special anymore, if you get where I'm coming from. Like, and as far as the Saturday 10-man goes, there were certain Saturdays when I was already working that day, and then I would come home and not want to deal with people standing in crap. There are certain people that I shall not name that would just stand in crap and insist on getting punched in the face with mechanics that shouldn't be punching them in the face.
So, price cut, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I love price cut.
All right. I was trying to be nice. It was actually Toad Fist.
No, it was never Toady.
It was always Toad.
It wasn't me.
We had a contest. Lore had a contest. He put up a death tally of Xizta versus Toad Fist, and whoever died more, and Toad beat me by like 20 deaths.
I think somebody else wins the death counter in most every other aspect.
So I don't know. I think if you want to have that special hardcore rating, you have to do the heroics. You have to be in a 10 or 25-man heroic progression raid guild. But I coming from someone who hasn't raided in a while, because I had not played, then I came back, and it's really hard to just get into a raid group, even if they're a quote-unquote casual raid group. I think this is great for people like me, at least, that I want to raid. Ideally, I'd like to eventually raid in a 10-man. I still want to do normal. I like that challenge. I don't like what you were saying. Like I've done the hardcore raiding thing. I don't want to do that again. I don't like the effort that I have to put to do that. I still want to be able to play the game.
Well, Sophie, I agree. Like, at this point in time with what I'm trying to do with work, and I'm not pursuing actually making money out of live streaming and video production anymore, like, I don't sink my time into the game like I used to, but I am glad to have experienced the hardcore rating aspect back when it actually was hardcore. Now, I'm not saying heroic content isn't hard anymore. In fact, if I had the time for it, I would probably still want to do it because it's a challenge and you really have to coordinate together. But I feel like the game is making things entirely too accessible to the point where it's maybe if rating was a special thing still, I would want to do it a little bit more, but it doesn't seem special anymore. Everybody's experiencing the same content. It's like back in the day when you said you not only fought but downed Nefarian, it was like, whoa, look, this person's got tier chest piece, and it's like
we got a badass over here.
I think because they want to make the rating more accessible to people, they kind of fell short of that on well, they didn't fall short of it on LFR, but the transition between LFR and normal modes, there's a huge gap between there, because LFR, you can pretty much face roll your way through the instance and not worry about a single mechanic. And then if you go from your experiences in there and jump into a normal mode, it's drastically different. There's plenty of mechanics that you could stand in and you'll die within a second or two with no warning. And I think this new difficulty level that fits right in the middle will be just what people need to transition into actually understanding and learning the mechanics.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think where they missed the mark was LFR. I think LFR is just the mechanics, 90% of the mechanics don't matter. and people just go in there. And there's where did I hear about this? Was it? I think it was Convert to Raid. They were talking about someone who did a social experiment, basically, where they went into LFRs. There's a video for this on YouTube somewhere. I gotta find it. But where they went into LFRs and they purposely tried to do as little as possible and see if they would get kicked out and see if they could just get geared to the point where they could run TOT. And they would go in there, and after a while, I guess he was not doing damage at all, and then realized that he wasn't going to be noticed because he wasn't on the damage meters or anything. So he would do a little bit of just enough so that they could see, and if they were going to kick him out. And I think he got kicked once. And it was just to the point where you can do LFR, you can get all the gear in LFR, and you can stand in every puddle, as long as you don't mouth off in raid chat, or instance chat. So I think LFR might be where they miss the mark.
However, if you're number one on the DPS chart and then you mouth off, they still keep you in the group. So yeah, they don't want to kick them because I've tried that myself. I've been in there. I've done number 1 DPS on Horadon. I was only attacking Horadon. I wasn't even attacking the ads, and then I was bad mouthing everybody else, and then they're yelling at me because I'm not doing proper DPS to the targets that I want to, and then other people are like, but he's doing the best damage, so we don't want to kick him. So the guy tried to kick me. He was the only one voting to kick me. Everybody else kept me there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're doing damage to the wrong mob, because that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah, I think this might be where they hit the mark the right way. I'd like to see them implemented first, but I think this is where they hit the mark.
I'll definitely be testing it out on PTR quite a bit.
You guys make excellent points. I just feel the way I feel because I'm stuck in my old ways.
Oh, but Indy, there's more.
Yeah,
they've announced that you can actually complete your achievements for Glory of the Raider in flexible raid mode.
So here's what I want. I want to kind of half move on from this topic, where they did say before they announced this, they said there was an unannounced feature that they're really excited about that's going to be coming out in 5.4. Do you think this is it? Because they basically come out and said afterwards that you pick a feature in 5.4 when we announce them, and you pick your favorite, and that's it. There's a lot of big unannounced features. So do you think that's the one they were initially talking about, or maybe we're going to see some other pretty big cool things coming our way in 5.4?
I think this is a big implementation that probably, I mean, it's likely.
Well, it was originally quoted that it was a quote-unquote game changer, is what Ghostcrawler had said. And honestly, I don't see anything else that's quite as game-changing as this coming out in the patch. There might be big features, but nothing quite as game-changey, if that's even a word, as this feature. But go on. As this feature. It's just... like, there's been a lot of talk. We've been speculating. People were saying, what was it? Real money auction houses like they've done in Diablo, which I don't think is ever going to hit World of Warcraft.
No.
Oh, I hope not.
And it's gone all the way up to scaling down old raids, scaling your player down to old raids and running those LFR style, which, who knows? Maybe we'll be doing that in this patch. We haven't even seen patch notes yet. But even if that was the feature, I don't think that's as big of a game changer as this.
Yeah, I think this is the one that impacts most people, especially at the end game, which is probably what he was talking about. But there are some other cool things people have been talking about that maybe we can touch on another time, but that seem pretty cool. Now, moving on from there, the topic we wanted to talk about last week, that we want to talk about this week, is people that have quit and come back, and with 5.3, alt leveling and all that is 10 times easier. Have any of you, Indy, I know you've been super busy, but Dom, you don't even like alts. Let's see. Have you leveled any or tried to do any of this alt stuff this past 2 weeks?
No, not this past 2 weeks. I've just been super busy. The patch hit like right around the time when Lore's thing was going on. I was editing all those videos to try to get them done. I think I finished the one for Legendary. I finished the morning of. So yeah, there was all that going on. And then I've been really busy with work and trying to get some of my own content out that I just have not had the time to do anything except run the LFRs for my quests and stuff like that. But one of the things I was really interested in doing, and of course I have to bring it up, is I was going to see if I could level a character from 85 to 90 through pet battles exclusively.
Oh.
If anyone was going to do it, that'd be you.
Will you live stream it straight through?
I don't know how exciting that would be, but sure, maybe.
So, Indy, have you had a chance to delve into any of this? And I know you're not big on alts either.
I mean, not recently, but I used to have a fully leveled character of every class, barring rogues, because no offense, this is a long time ago, I tried leveling a rogue, and I couldn't get into it. But I used to be very into alts. Recently, obviously, so busy. I guess it seems more daunting to me because I'm a completist, and if you're a completist, you want to have like all the achievements and all of the best things and all of the pets and
God,
whatever. So if you level an alt, you feel cheated a bit when you're on that character and you don't have everything.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Me, this week, this last 2 weeks, that's basically all I've been doing. It's just leveling alts.
And?
It's so far, I haven't hit too much of that content yet. I have helped my brother get into his character and get geared up. And it didn't take long at all. I mean, with all the new stuff that they've got going on, I mean, he was leveling, his guy was 89, and I don't even know if he got to the Dread Wastes. He might have got to the Dread Wastes and explored some area and dinged 90.
Wow, that's significant because Dread Wastes used to be just enough.
Yeah, and then he did stuff like as soon as he did that, we did the scenarios and that jazz to get him his 502 boots. Grabbed a couple things off the auction house, got him enough to do some heroics, and between the heroics and the daily heroic scenario, he was geared enough to get into TOT within, I think, a week.
It's not bad at all.
I mean, it's
Did you guys
quick.
do the Throne of Thunder Island dailies as well for that gear?
We did just enough to get him the key to the palace, or found a rare to kill to get him key to the palace, so he could get some charms, so that when he did the lower level LFRs, he could double roll on everything, and by double rolling on everything from vaults to Heart of Fear and Terrace, he had plenty of gear to get the TOT level, which was kind of cool.
See, back in my day,
here we go again.
Used to go 4 weeks without seeing a piece of the loot.
And you had to use all your DKP for that one weapon.
I used all my DKP because I was rolling against another mage for tier chest.
For benediction.
Oh, Benny!
I used to sell my water and food, so I was fine. I was rich. I had no DKP, but I was rich.
Yeah. So
they also added a new mount to the pet store recently too. It was a bat. What is your guys' opinions on the Alliance getting a red bat?
Just another example of them giving everyone everything.
I don't care, honestly. If you want a bat mount, you can just get on a flight path from the Undercity to anywhere.
The Alliance can't do that.
If the Alliance want to pay $25 for a bat mount, then that's all of them.
I know it's supposed to be themed with the whole escalation patch and whatever, but I don't feel the Alliance get a bat. That's way too horde themed for me. Well, I don't feel it's right that they should have that.
If they're gonna do that, they should give me back all of my cat mounts. I miss my tigers.
I don't think it's a big deal.
I have the ZG really. Tiger.
Well, not that one. I'm talking about the night elf ones.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not, to me, it's whatever. It's,
yeah.
If you want to spend the money, then you can have the bat. The other thing you do is, if you really want a bat, you could just be a troll druid. That's the thing.
That's why I rolled a troll druid, actually.
Oh, and back to the quitting and coming back. So the big reason that I was leveling all these alts is because I transferred with the sale that they had going on. Gamebreaker announced where their guild is going to be, so I transferred a couple tunes over there. Or no, one tune, just my one of my paladins, and was finishing leveling. I'm still finishing leveling him, and it's going pretty quick. I'm just about 85, and all I've done is dungeons. When I hit 85, I'll quest and I'll know more about it. But it seems
pretty damn good.
The Gamebreaker
It seems to
Nation
me
is
that
going to be
they're-
on US Turallion, which I'm actually going to be a guild council member over there for. I know Sophist is going to be in it, so there's
Yeah.
it's a PvE server. I'm gonna be Horde at least. I don't know what Sophist you might float back and forth between, but if you guys don't know about the Gamebreaker Nation, not a lot of info has been released on it yet, but go check out gamebreaker.tv and go on their forums and see what's going on with it.
Yeah, keep a lookout for more information. Personally, they haven't. I don't think they've invited anyone to the guild except for officers yet. Correct?
Yeah, not yet. They said that we're gonna announce more on it after E3 blows over because Gary and Mike are gonna be down there covering it, so they're not gonna be around to do much of it beforehand.
Okay, yeah. So there's that. But if you do get over there, look for either me. My two characters over there would be Chris Judge, which is a Blood Elf Paladin, or Pandawn, Pandawn. She's a panda shaman. I can invite you to a guild that we have for just some friends. It's not affiliated with them in any way, but it's a home until they announce more. So if you do get over there, look for me. The guild name is Needs an Adult. So just look for someone in that, and they'll point you in the right direction. So I guess we've kind of killed that one just a little bit. It's much easier now to quit and come back. That's the short end of it, and it really is. I've done it a couple times, and I'm still doing it, and it's not so bad. It's not so painful anymore. But we should get on to our weekly segment, where we are going all the way to the Barrens and heading into the Wailing Caverns.
Dun dun dun.
Xizta, do you want to give us the quick and easy rundown of this? There wasn't a lot of information, but do you want to give us like an overview, and then we can hit kind of each thing briefly, because there isn't much besides the dungeon journal.
Back in my day, there was no queuing up for the LFD and going into Wailing Caverns. I was an undead rogue at the time, and I had to trek across the Zeppelin to a whole new land and discover Kalimdor and leave my home of the Eastern Kingdoms to go find this mysterious Wailing Caverns that some Tauren in Sepulture, was it Sepulture? Silverpine Forest, wherever, I think it was Sepulture. It sent me on this quest to find this magical land of the Wailing Caverns after some mushrooms or something like that. And yeah, that's the only way I would have found that instance. Otherwise, I would have just stayed on the Eastern Kingdoms, but they made me go over there.
I was Alliance, and I went and ran it with some friends, and it was like, it took a long-ass time to get out there.
Yeah.
Not mounted.
And then you had to stand outside the instance for hours just looking for group Wailing Caverns.
Man, those were the days.
You missed those days. Oh, man.
You need help, Indy. You need help.
So basically,
what can I say?
Let's get into the lore. Basically, there's a druid in there. He goes there and he goes, you know what? I think I can make all of this that's happening in these caverns work for the Barrens. And I'm going to make the Barrens this beautiful, pretty jungle. I just need to go in here and use the steam and the vents in here and what do they do? Pray? I don't know. What do druids do?
I think they go to sleep.
They're sleeping.
Oh, okay. Well, he does go to sleep, and then he gets corrupted by none other than the Emerald Dream.
Yeah, there's that big nightmare going on there. I remember we had the 4 World Raid dragons coming out through the Emerald Dream portals in vanilla.
Yeah, see? Good stuff back then.
This is just bringing Indy back. Her favorite time.
All right.
Did you actually kill any of those dragons?
Yes. Indy? Our guild was the second guild, top guild on the server, so we would team up with, because they would pop at all hours, and we would all have like phone banking and shit. It was pretty nerdy, but we got it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was also a book, Storm Rage, I believe, where they tied up kind of what went on with the Emerald Dream itself, but they never really concluded it in-game. So Because Wailing Caverns was our first introduction to the Emerald Dream, and it kind of always fascinated me. The Emerald Dream is what Azeroth would have been like if it was never tainted by sentient beings. And the continent remains as one, not split into four. No Northern End, Pandaria, Eastern Kingdoms, and Kalimdor. That's just one continent. And the Druids apparently can tap into it, and that's what Nerlex was doing in there. And somehow it got corrupted, I believe. I didn't actually read Stormrage, but I believe it had something to do with old gods. Surprise, surprise. And
an old god had something to do with a bad thing? No.
Oh. Yeah, so when Nerlex went to sleep in there to kind of draw the power of the Emerald Dream, he got corrupted and started pulling some of that back with him into the Wailing Caverns.
Yep, and he then coincidentally, once he was corrupted, all of his followers followed suit and all went crazy pants.
Yeah, we had, Lady Anacondra, Lord Pythis, Cobron. I forget what the other Druid of the
Lord
Fang
Cobron,
was.
who had actually changed his name because he liked that better, because he liked the deadly serpent thing. Then there's the one at the end. What the hell's his name?
There was Serpentis.
Yes, Serpentis, that's correct. But who the Murloc at the end? Is that who you're talking about?
Oh no, I was talking about Verdun the Everliving, which was not one of the druids that actually ended up being part of the Druid of the Fang.
Oh, he was that big mossy guy up top.
Yeah,
right?
he was the original guardian of the Wailing Caverns who also got corrupted. So it wasn't just the druids that were connected to Narlax. It was everything in there. Except for Kresh, that turtle.
Turtley.
Old Kresh. Still not corrupted.
Yeah, he dropped that crazy shield. All tanks wanted back then, because it was like the first instance that you really got a shield at. I don't believe you had one for Ragefire, at least Horde side anyway.
Yeah, all the druids were corrupted, and Lord Serpentis, I believe, gathered them all together and formed the Druids of the Fang. That's what they were all originally followers of Narlax, though.
We also
all were corrupted along with him.
We also had Scum. I believe he was the rhinoceros pet that they had in there. I don't really know what he was doing.
He was there to supply people with twink gear.
I think he was the one that you had to get past to jump down into some other crap. But...
I'm actually looking right now. It says the Dungeon Journal. Scum first journeyed into the Wailing Caverns for relief from the Baron's hostile environment. Like many of the cave's other inhabitants, he quickly succumbed to corruption. His veins now pulse with dark energies that have transformed him into a mighty and ruthless beast beyond redemption.
So the thing I remember the most about Wailing Caverns was I used to go out front before going into the instance and fish deviant fish.
Yep, and you could only get that recipe in there.
Yep, I'd get the recipe. I would make the deviant fish, whatever. They could turn you into a ninja. And then I would sell them and make money.
Yay. Back when you could actually make money out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can make money now.
No.
You can buy it. China sell you.
I'm sure. The long and short of it is the instance wasn't as rich with story as maybe some of the smaller ones.
I mean, it was
connected to a larger story, but it's not itself. I don't think Wailing Caverns is much of a big story.
No, there was a minor update that they did. Was it during Cataclysm? I believe it was during Cataclysm, where they actually cut a lot of the extra bits of the instance down. As anybody who had done it prior to that will probably remember, there was long, winding caverns that you would get lost in, and nobody really knew their way through, and it was a huge pain in the ass. It was worse than Gnomergen.
Here you go. They
terrible.
In Cataclysm, they removed the maze section, and then they had to move Lord Pythis and Scum elsewhere in the dungeon to, I guess, accommodate that change.
Yep. So, the last thing in there is Mutanus the Devourer. That would be the big RP moment in that instance, where after you're finished, you go back. There is still a servant of Narlax there, and he goes, and you go attempt to wake up Narlax to free the Wailing Cavern from the waking nightmare.
That was that long escort quest where he like walks around and like does all these little rituals and stuff. I remember, I have not seen it since they've updated the game in quite a bit, but back in vanilla, we're going back to vanilla times again, Indy. You might want to reminisce a little with me. But I remember back in vanilla, you would be doing the escort quest. If you got a hold of the raptors early and you fought them before he engaged them, there was this one bile toad that was in that area, and if nobody had killed it, it seemed like it was scripted. It would hop across the path just in front of him, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, look out, a bile toad," and he'd just run off and smash this thing with his staff and then run back and continue walking at like this really slow pace. And that little moment just always made me laugh.
You remember weird things.
Well, it was entertaining to me, so of course it's going to stand out. I laughed every time.
Probably the most entertaining thing in the instance.
I would always pull those raptors away from the bile toad because I didn't want anybody to hit it with AoE, because I always wanted him to do that.
Well,
maybe an inside joke of the developers.
Maybe
this will make you happy. That part is still there. I don't know if that exact moment is still in the game, but you can still do that side effect of me leveling a bunch of tunes. I've done that recently.
But if he doesn't smack the bile toad, it's not as much fun.
Well, I guess we have to go back and check just to see.
Yeah.
All right, well, Wailing Caverns, everyone. Not the most exciting lore. But
what was the purpose of the Murloc? You started telling the Murloc. I got a little sidetracked, and you never...
damn.
What?
Whatever. No, Murloc, end of story. Cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, he was the manifestation of the waking nightmare, and he tries to stop you from waking up Narlax. Yay!
I remember that. I remember after you killed him, you got this glowing shard off of him, and it was like, "What is this?" Like, it seemed to have almost been ripped directly out of the Emerald Dream, and you end up taking it back to Ratchet to try to find something about it, and they're just like, "Oh, we don't know any more about this. What is this? I've never seen anything like this," and it just ends. I'm like, what?
I think I still have my glowing shard in my
Well,
bag
it's even
somewhere.
worse. It's even worse now. There is a glowing shard. It actually says quest item, but you can't do anything with it. You can't sell it. There is no quest for it. It's just there.
Oh, wow.
So if you want one, you can go get one. They're still around.
If you're the sentimental type, you get to hold on to it forever.
Well, does anyone else want to hang out in the Wailing Caverns any longer? Because
no.
I know usually it takes forever, so maybe we should spend more time on this.
There's also a pet in the Wailing Caverns, by the way.
God.
There's a deviant raptor, which drops off the raptor mobs in there. It's a very, very low chance, but go for it.
Go do it. Dom will help you.
Hey!
No, you have no
Just
clue
send him
how
a
many
message.
times I went in there. It took me like 7 or 8 clears just to get one to drop.
Dom will help you. You can send him a message.
No.
You should tell our lovely listeners what exciting plan we have for next week.
Which dungeon we're doing?
No, not about lore, but how we're going to conduct our podcast.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, what lore next week? We're doing lore next week? Oh, God.
Next week we have what? Shadowfang Keep.
We do.
Yeah,
Hooray!
Yes. Much more to talk about there.
Yeah, the big news next week is we're going to attempt to do this live. It's actually not going to be next week. It's going to be the following week. But provided that we can work out the kinks, we will try to be doing this live.
Did you just fall down the stairs?
Yeah, I did. It hurt. But aside, I'm basically doing this live right now, and people keep throwing shit down the basement.
I'm just picturing him conducting the podcast
Hey guys!
while descending a set of stairs.
Maintaining a calm tone in his voice as he just rolls down the stairs, never breaking his speech pattern. Just...
Ouch, guys! Live next week. Ow. Ouch.
It should be fun, because then everybody else gets to hear this.
Because that'll happen. So live, you get to hear that. Yeah.
No, that was actually planned.
We will try and broadcast it on probably on the HXC Twitch page, which we actually have. So we'll probably try and do it there. But as me and Xizta found out last week, trying to record a live type show with video and audio and interactions with people can sometimes be a pain in the,
Yeah.
Yeah. We might try to have some kind of video feed of some sort, but we're probably not all three of us going to be on there at all.
I think we should just have, a standard thing on the screen to bore people. No, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier, especially for our first live cast. So I think it's exciting. I'm excited about it. And also we'll be able to interact with questions right there.
Yeah.
Questions. We almost forgot.
Oh, so speaking of questions, that's a perfect segue. And if I was better at this, it'd be a lot smoother than this. We do have some Twitter questions this week. We have at least one. I have one pulled up right now, so we'll at least hit this one because we are kind of running out of time. So, we have from Lukedes. I think it's actually Luctes, or Luctes, but I call him Luke.
I call him Luke.
From Luke. He says, at the HXC, if Troggs became an Alliance playable race, and you had to delete a character, would you still play it? Hashtag Team Trogg.
I would not play a Trogg if they put one into my account fully leveled because they creep me out a little bit. But I wouldn't delete a character for one even if I did like them. That's just my take on it.
Would you transfer a character to a different server so that you could have room for it?
I mean, I wouldn't play one because they creep me out a little bit, but I would laugh my ass off if they were running around actually being played by real people because that would just be amusing.
Can you imagine a whole horde of them chasing you down the streets of Stormwind?
Trogg raid on Stormwind.
It's an Alliance playable race, though. I don't know why it's Alliance. I think it's Alliance because they share about the same intelligence level as Alliance players.
Ooh.
You can respond to that by tweeting straight to Sophist.
Yeah, that would be the real Sophist at Twitter.
I thought I heard Dom say that. That wasn't me.
Yeah, well, I know Dom would probably play one.
Would you?
I would definitely play one only now after this podcast, but prior to our discussion on Troggs, I've been like, no, why would I do that?
See, not only would I do that, but if I were to have multiple Alliance characters, they would all be Troggs.
Wow.
He loves his Troggs.
A Trogg Rogue would be fun.
I think Trogg Rogue would be fun. Trogg Mage? Could you just think of a Trogg casting Frostbolts?
Oh, God.
Oh. And I bet they have to, make noises when they do it, too.
I don't think they would be able to be Paladins or Shaman or anything like that. Maybe Shaman. I could see Shaman, actually.
Yeah, Trogg Totems.
But definitely not Paladin. I can't see Priest. Pretty much any class that heals, and I don't know how effective that would be for a brand new race.
Oh, man.
Trogg Grips.
Can you imagine Trogg Druids? Like, what?
Trogg Druid? I could see that. I could see Trogg Druids.
What would the cat look like?
Oh, it would look like... Oh.
It's just the Trogg on 4 legs. That's fine.
With the patchy hair.
What would bear form be?
I don't
It'd
know.
be the same thing.
The Blizzard would have to just blow my mind. It's fine.
I wonder if enough people tweeted straight to Ghostcrawler or something.
Maybe we could try it. Let's
and then we'll do Team Trogg, right? Hashtag Team Trogg.
Can you imagine Trogg monks?
No.
That might be the one that's a little over the edge.
No.
Could you see them being that
Come on,
agile?
Can you imagine spinning crane kick on a Trogg?
That was a Murloc.
You're gonna have so much fun.
I don't even know what the Trogg sounds like.
Dom, you're gonna have so much fun with the Troggs in this section of the podcast.
Oh, I always have fun with the Troggs.
Alright, so we have one more. But it's not really a question, it's more of... I think we've disappointed this person. This is from Squirreldecker. He says, at the HXC, Xizta, Indie, Sophist, anything but flexraid. Just talk about anything but flexraid.
It's been a hot topic this week. It's not very surprising. Everybody's been talking about it. It started off, it was announced a few hours before Legendary, and they took up almost half the show talking about it. The Realm Maintenance, not Realm Maintenance, sorry. They might have talked about it. I don't know. I haven't actually. We're recording on Sunday. Realm Maintenance is on Tuesday. Who knows? Realm Maintenance may have touched on it as well. I'm sure they have. But Convert to Raid, they talked about it for like 45 minutes on there. And even me, I started my own video this week, and I did one on flex rating.
Big issue.
I'm with Squirrel, so.
All right, so before we get out of here...
Wait.
What's up?
Indy, you and Squirrel are together? You're an item?
Well, I guess I wasn't supposed to say anything, but no. No, I am in complete agreement with Flex, and I think I've gone way on about why. You guys can pick on me later.
All right, well, before we get out of here, we're going to finish off this with our Blowing Off Steam segment. What have you guys been playing, or I guess even just doing just for relaxing? I'm mostly playing games, though.
I've been writing Fable fanfics. Well, one fanfic.
Ooh. Are there
lemons? Please tell us all about these lemons.
//
They're tasteful. They're not // I've gotten a ton of like rave reviews about them, and I actually even got one PM from somebody who said if I ever write a novel to let her know because she would actually buy it. So I'm enjoying myself.
I would buy it too. I don't read for like entertainment, so I probably wouldn't read it, but I would buy it.
The thing is I never did either until I started getting into fanfic. So, I mean, it's a hobby, but that's what I've been up to.
That's really cool. Xizta, what have you been doing? I think Worms are in our future here.
Yeah, I've been playing, or should I say I have Worms. No, I've been playing a lot of Worms. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me of an old MS-DOS game that I used to play back in the day called Tank Wars. However, Tank Wars was stationary, and you would just sit there and fire upon your targets with multiple variety of nukes and different weapons, and your goal is to take out your enemy, destroy them, and be the last man standing. And that's exactly what Worms is, except it's a little more mobile. You have things like ropes that you can climb up walls and jetpacks that you can fly away. But it's got the same kind of stuff. Water balloons that you could knock people off cliffs and
drown.
Yeah.
Are you streaming it?
Oh yes, I've been streaming the hell out of it. I actually have Eduardo from Mexico. We did a stream last night. It was a lot of fun. He's one of the most well-known callers on After Dark, who I believe has been on more episodes than the main host, Mike Schaffnit. Go Eduardo.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You should play it sometime with us, Andy. It's a lot of fun.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's only $15 on Steam. I believe it's called Worm Revolution.
Yeah, Worms Revolution. Yep.
I'm on it.
The game I have had a chance to get into recently was a game that I didn't like for a long time. League of Legends. I didn't like it so much. The community was really kind of almost toxic. It wasn't fun unless I was in there with 5 people, and even then I just wasn't very good at it, so I didn't enjoy playing it. So I didn't play it. I haven't played it for years. Got back into it last night. Someone told me to play ARAMs because it's a lot more fun, a lot more laid back. So I get into it, and now I'm kind of hooked. I really like it.
It's only because you have the King Koopa skin for one of your dudes, right?
Well, yeah. That's one of the funny things was that I didn't realize how long ago I'd played it. I was in the closed beta for League of Legends. And apparently you get a free champion and a skin for that champion. Apparently that skin is pretty rare. So I was streaming, and someone was like, wait a minute, click on that. Is that the King, I think it's Rammus skin? I was like, I guess, I don't know. He's like, what the hell? You don't even like this game. I was like, well, I might like it now, I don't know. So I did play it a bunch last night. It was a lot of fun. I ended up playing that and watching the StarCraft WCS last night.
Nice.
Which is something I don't get a chance to do that often, because it's on at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, which actually kind of reminded me, I know we're kind of well off the topic now, but Blizzard has actually announced that Diablo 3 is coming to Xbox as well. You guys have any opinions on that? Do you think they're going more console orientated? Because it's been announced for PS3 for a little while now. But do you think maybe this is an announcement for maybe the return of StarCraft Ghost?
Just a general answer, just this is my feeling, is that console games going to PC is much more appealing to me than vice versa.
Yeah, I don't think this is a thing that's saying Ghost is going to be coming. I mean, Diablo 2 was on the PlayStation. That's not a new thing. So I don't read too much into this other than they are going to bring it to the console. And it was pretty good for the PlayStation. So good on them. It's just a way for them to bring their game to other markets. And maybe that means they do that with some other games if they can adapt other games to that market. But to me, Diablo was the easiest one to do it, and they've done it in the past, and why not do it again if it did pretty well?
Yeah, Diablo 3 kind of started out with a little bit of a lackluster, so I think this is kind of a little way to revive some life into the game itself.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the numbers now, Diablo actually has pretty impressive numbers. I think they're up over 4 million accounts that are active. And I think they have over 1 million concurrent players, so there's always, on average, over 1 million people playing, which is huge. That's a ton. That's a huge game. It just wasn't up to the standards that people thought it was going to be initially, and there were so many issues that I think it's better now. If you go back and play it, I know we have, and it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it.
All right. Well, Indy, do you have anything else you want to touch on this week?
I don't think so.
Dom, do you?
No, that seems like it.
All right. Well, I know that they can get in touch with all of us in various social media forms. Indy, where can the people reach you at?
I am everywhere under the same name. It's Indy Garona, and that would be on Twitch and Twitter and even Facebook, though I'm slacking on. I don't like Facebook too much. So tweet me or catch me on my live stream.
Yeah. Xizta, where you at, dude?
Facebook and Twitch? Yes, Twitch. I was going to say Twitter. Facebook and Twitter. I did. Now I said it. Serves me right.
It's not my week. It's your week. Yes.
Oh.
Insert Troggs scream.
No, that's Murloc again. Anyway. Twitch.tv and Facebook.com/Xizta and Twitter.com/Xizta with an underscore.
//
Yeah.
/ underscore.
You can reach me at The Real Sophist on Twitter and Twitch.tv/The Real Sophist. You can also send in your questions or comments, or if you want us to talk about anything, seriously, just send us, any of us a tweet, or send us an email. You can send one directly to me at sophist@thehxc.com, or to the podcast in general at podcast@thehxc.com. I did it this week, guys. I did the emails. I read them.
Hooray!
Me and Indy also have Xizta at thehxc.com and Indy at thehxc.com, which will it will go to our own individual private emails as well. It's a forwarder.
Perfect. Yeah. Just go ahead, guys. Get in touch. We'd like to hear from you. It's a good time. So that's it for Indy, for Xizta, for me. This has been Hardcore Casuals. See you next week. We did it.
We did it. We
Good job,
did
team.
it. We did it. We did it. Hooray, Vamissimo. I don't even know what I just said. I could be like swearing in Spanish or something.
I don't think you were.